Well, hello and good morning to you guys, or maybe good evening if you are joining from somewhere halfway across the world with me. Um, right now, it is 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's day one of public practice week. And as the starting line of a 5 days roster, I am tasked with setting up the stage so that we have a fruitful 1 week of practice together. Now, to be very honest with you guys, the last time that we did this, we have about 50 something people that joined day one. And by the time of day five, we only have about 30 people, which is fine, expected, right? Things get in the way. This doesn't really fit with what you are in search of right now, for whatever reason, right? But this time, it's not just me doing it. So if you're curious about what CC is about, who are the instructors, yeah, they're coming. And I'm actually very giddy to be introducing my friends, my coworkers, my peer instructors. Uh, so we are setting up a sequence in a way that the 5 days build on top of each other, complement each other, and also each focus on its own distinct aim, its own problem set. So for example, today is day one. I want to get into the problem set of day one very quickly, as well as the instructions, as well as uh, breaking down why choosing these set of instruction. But for day two, we'll be talking about disassociation, really. We'll be talking about why is it so that we live a deadening life? Why is it so that our sense of your moment-to-moment experience, why so jaded? Why are you concaving into your shell? Because there is this disassociated momentum where you just run away from experiences. So that's day two, and we led by instructors Albert. Day three, our boy Frank. Maybe you guys are here because of his signal, his art. For day three, we'll be talking about why there is stickiness in certain emotions and certain narratives. And the infinite bra, Frank, will be guiding, will be expounding and explaining uh, the reason why that is the case, what is the problem with this clinginess, and what is the solution regarding to being aware and lucidly going and observing impermanence. Yes, there's a momentariness arising and passing away, but what is the unchanging? Is there an unchanging constant in our experience? What is that about? So that's day three. On day four, now, why do we have this ongoing restlessness that binds us into a separate self? Why do we have this cognitive fixation? Am I doing the right thing? What I need to do right now? What is the meaning of life? Can you tell me like my life purpose? This wanting to bind, this wanting to cling to certainty, right? That then makes you into a position of maybe paralysis by analysis, like getting frozen because you want to control every variables. And how do you just rest into this restlessness? And the one and only Taylor will be guiding us through that. And um, yeah, personally, I look forward to day four because Taylor and his way of introducing certain topics and his way of holding transmission is very interesting. It's very, very interesting. And day five coming on together is Jace, as she will be concluding in terms of the practice portion of how this whole come together to form a lifestyle, like an ongoing, continuous cultivation We talk about integration, right? We're talking about how there is this transference as one of the core competency. You want to judge or measure progress, right? We got to talk about competencies. So transfer in the way is how uninterrupted your recognition can become. Not just moment to moment, even like trans moment, beyond known moments. What is that like, living a life like that? And of course, on Saturday, day number 6, we'll have all of us coming together. And of course, throughout this week, we can talk about the bootcamp, the upcoming cohort. But that's really to reserve for day 6, where we really come together and get to know CC. We want to get to know you more. And we also have a little something surprise. I'll talk about it later on day 6. So you may want to check that out. But on day 1 to day 5, day 6 will be a different matter. But on day 1, on day 5, there is this interaction that me and you are having right now. And I want to start with this clarification first, is that this is a transmission-based type of teaching. And what does that mean? What does that mean that the instructors from day 1 to day 5 are having a transmission with you? Because we have to ask ourselves, when does the contemplative practice start? Is it when we like do a certain mudra like this, like this, like this, and then we close our eyes? Is that when the meditation start? Does it start when your mind finally quiets down, and now you can just so-called flow with your moments, with your emotion, with your experience? Is talking not meditation? So on my side right now, there are something like 55, 56 people joining in. Some of them are people who already completed a boot camp, now returning to practice some more with you guys. A lot of you guys are newcomers. I've noticed some of you guys already joined our previous public practice week. You're returning again. I'm grateful for that. Some of them, some of us in our audience right now is CC team members. We're sharing the space as well in discussion with all of us. But right now, in 1 hour, at the first chunk, we're training in a transmission-based type of environment. Well, for me, based on learning from our head teacher, Mei Chang, based on talking with all our instructors, and based on taking a look at how like the teachings can be transmitted. Essentially, right now, I am 100% committed to being with you. All of me, the totality of my being, my entire field of presence right now is filled with you. I'm sincerely extending my invitation for you to be here with me. And with this as a container, now we go and we sort things out, right? Because it's part of my training, it's part of all the instructor training in CC, is that when we work with others, with an audience, with one person on the other side, or like a group on the other side, we are sincerely become interested in you, wherever you are, whatever background you come from, so-called yoke, connect with you, so that my feelings map onto your feelings, so that my perception map onto your perception. And of course, it has a certain kind of mirroring effect. So perhaps your curiosity becomes my anxiety. Your amusement become my pressure. Right? So there is this connection that's going on. In that way, when you become disinterested, disconnected, you're not meeting me. That's the problem in a lot of cases where the so-called instructor side and the practitioner side, both sides are disinterested and not interested in each other. So then we got like a cold, sterile, decontextualized instruction in the middle. Oh, just sit down and like cross your leg and watch your breath. Now, that same instruction may be very different if the instructors are fully mapped onto you and see like, okay, for this person, for you, whatever's going on, let's do this. So there is this kind of direct connection. Well, I think traditionally speaking, in a lot of ways, this transmission type is said to be a type of training where on the instructor side, the teacher side, there is this responsiveness and skillfulness and so-called compassion, the interest really to relate and meet the practitioner where they at. And on the practitioner side, there is aspiration, there is commitment, there is faith and trust to a certain degree so that they can meet in the middle. They say that on the instructor side, it's like a hook. And on the practitioner side, it's like an iron ring. And we string each other along in that way. So then if you are not interested, if you kind of just there, so like this, like that, going about in your mind all that way, I have nothing to hook you with. But on my side, if I'm running on a script of like, oh, I've got a point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, then I'm also stuck in my mind and I can't hook you in. So throughout these 5 days, there's this constant hooking, engaging, gathering all of us into a shared space. Although it's digitally, so it's more challenging for the instructors and the practitioners to yoke this. But from our experience, you see, it's undeniably effective. It works. Now that can, what I mean by it works, it could be the case that you feel like I'm talking directly to you. You feel like the moment you enter the Zoom session, there is the grounding in your experience. The sense of pressure around your head starting to change. Sometimes your ears go a little bit. Whatever that feeling of being contacted feels like for you. So then once we have the shared context, now we can talk about a specific problem, which is now relevant for you. And then we talk about the solution to that problem. And then define that to the point of a very, very precise instruction so that you can do today. And this will be the structure for the 5 days of training, which means that there is a warming up speech now so that we can all ease into the transmission, into the shared space, into this moment, this very moment right now. But this is so-called already part of the training to even be with each other. And this is the same ways that we'll be training in CC for 90 days. The only difference is the head teacher, Mei Chang, will be the one that's holding the transmission within a boot camp. And in a public practice week now, it will be the instructors. So making contact in this context. Now, what is the problem? What is the solution? And then what are we doing today? Instruction. I'm going to get to all of this for my day very quickly, but I want to set up this context so we know the style of training that is called transmission-based. So, problem for today. I would say that modern mind training has a serious pedagogical problem, meaning that the act of teaching and learning so-called contemplative practices, meditation, reflection, is happening in a completely new context. Now we're literally just talking about that we're doing this through Zoom. So 20 years ago, this is not possible. And let alone 2,600 years ago when the Buddha Dharma dropped on this world. So then, because of the new context, right now there could be a lot of mismatch in how the instruction was originally designed to instruct people and how it's done right now. Because right now, I would say that you have far more access to quality material, like the writing, the recording, than you have access to quality mentoring and community support. Like you could open Amazon right now and type like Judgment Rinpoche, and you have the best of the best in terms of text materials right there on Kindle. Boop. But how do you decode it once you got it? Now that's the problem, right? And this problem right now could be so serious that people are reading things where they're not supposed to read, but they don't know it. We don't know it, right? Like, I mean, some of the Vajrayana and Dzogchen book, they literally say, do not read this if you haven't had the transmission. So, but we read anyway, right? Because like, it's just a book. Yeah, so then also 200 years ago, really is this making contact between, I believe, is the British interest into Buddha Dharma in Burmese, in Myanmar right now. And now there's an exporting of the so-called, I think it's the Mahasi, the modern Theravadan. And in a lot of way, one part of Buddha Dharma out of the much greater contact, local context in the East now got imported and assimilated into what's already is the like the tail of the Enlightenment era from 1700 1800. So it's rational, it's empirical. You gotta see it to believe it. You can measure it, all these things. And then with the split of church and state, we want to secularize this, maximize it for everybody to be in. And now we kind of, from that, we have the modern mindfulness movement. And of course, the East has their own problem, but I'm speaking more to the West audience, right? More, the majority of us is Western audience. I come from the Eastern background, and like we don't meditate nor contemplate on anything. It's just a cultural activity. But I guess the same way that people here doesn't really practice Christianity, they just go to church every Sunday because it's what everybody does. It's the same way in the East of like you just go to a temple, you just pay respect to the monk. You don't really understand what's going on. Yeah. So in this exporting business of the teaching of the awakened ones, so that we can achieve the aim of nirvana, right? It's got lost in translation. The goals become, what has been going on now? So we got one sector that meditate to stress reduction, managing to become a more productive worker. Clarity, focus. I don't need Pomodoro anymore. I can just like lock in monk mode all day, every day, baby. And I can do that. Right? Which is that's what the meditation is for. Stress reduction. It's that. And then we have other aspect of meditation. Okay, we're going to train this so that we can be at ease, calm, collected, pro-social, right? Becoming kind, becoming empathetic, play well with others, have all these kind of personality structure, well-rounded out, become like very optimized to have like ongoing pleasant experience. Like that's another aim. But then that aim interesting is being really poked at by one of our favorite teachers out there. Dzongzha Khyentse Rinpoche have a dedicated book called Not for Happiness. Right? This is not just for happiness, right? But, we love bliss. We love feeling good. We love the highs. And if we feel low, we want to get to the next high. So sometimes that's all we can think of. And we would imagine like the path should look like a continuous, unbroken streak of bliss. And that's what we're training for. So we're just like, oh, I'm always there, I'm blissing out. Wow. which is like, I'm not saying these things to like, you shouldn't do it for stress reduction. You shouldn't do it to cultivate bliss. I'm not saying that, right? I'm just describing perhaps our path, how we got there. Because at first I also want to sit down and be less stressed and just be more at ease with myself. And also I want to be more sociable in that way. So not to moralizing it, it's just more to reporting to you what's going on. Now, really, we can say the third thing, the third aim, which I would imagine is the hot new things, new hot things, and is where really we meet here is this, is to meditate so that we can cultivate penetrating insight into the nature of reality. Now that this now seems closer to whatever the whatever that means to become enlightened. Penetrating insight, having that realization. So meditate for that. But of course, originally speaking, these three things, they have to come together to form like the three-part training. We got samadhi, we got sila, and we got prajna. There's many ways to slice and dice the game, right? But we also can say that there is the process of cultivating samantha, cultivating vipassana, and then cultivating enough merit and wisdom so you can make the leap and have enough fitness to embody the view, to live enlightenedly. But the problem really is, why is this pedagogical problem, is that all these three teachings just now just shotgun into the entire marketplace. And like sometimes you take a little bit of here, sometimes you take a little bit there, sometimes you take a little bit here. And actually, if you just go for the so-called penetrating insight, you just sit there and you do self-inquiry without any base in how to stabilize your moment-to-moment experience. Your lifestyle is whack. People don't like you, and you don't like people. So there's just this resentment. They don't understand me. Then nothing, maybe there's a very low chance of you being able to calm enough to have penetrating insight. But then you want to double down, and like some of us, then we go to retreat, we do a little bit of psychedelics, got buffed up by those enhancements, and now you can have some penetrating insight. You're starting to see like, oh, that's like higher dimensions, vision starting to come, all these things. But then it's further destabilizing you instead of having to take care of these things. So that's why in CC, we also extremely emphasize how we must develop a holistic training system, an entire ecology that include the boundaries you have with relationships, the way you can hold your difficult emotions, the way you can apply your attentions and sustain that concentration, and then making the leap of insight and doing all this as a process. So it's not really about what techniques to be done, what instruction to be had, but thinking of it as a holistic, complete system, and there's many moving parts in it. But we must develop this machine. So many dimensions to it. But how are we going to do that, right? Because the challenge also is we sit online and whatever we happen to be interested in that day, we search something about it, we find certain, okay, this teacher, I resonate with you, just tell me what to do. Right. But they don't know you. And I may be wrong about this, but I would imagine they also don't care about you. Not really. Not really. The other aspect of this, and this is well documented, is people just tell whatever, just do whatever the apps tell them to do. Waking up, headspace, calm, whatever like they just don't have any critical analysis of their own process. What are you in doing? Should you be doing that right now? Should you be like inquiry about the nature of yourself when like you got bills to pay and all these things and you're going to take care of that? Maybe stabilize and like round out and make some good merit first. I'm going to leave that for perhaps day 2 and day 4 for Albert and Taylor to really drill on this aspect, like the disassociate running away from our attention and also this incessant need to know, but then become the obstacle for you to not know, right? My point for today is the problem is there is this disjointed, slice and diced, decontextualized way of learning and teaching. The solution is to make contact with the totality of ourselves, to make contact with what's going on, and start to notice all this, and it's oftentimes it can feel conflicting, because if you just practice to become more concentrated, and you don't work on your relationality, actually you can become more of an asshole. I know this. I have this problem. Oh, I'm super spiritual. I'm can do jhanas now. Mom, you don't get it. This is a real thing. I'm jhanically approved. You just become antisocial, and you just don't. You just have this what they call the Zen stink. Yeah, they become stinky. We become stinky. We wanna let the people know how calm we are. Not everyone, right? Some of us don't have that problem, but some of us do. But it's also it could be a genuine, uh, not even a bad situation, because a lot of times we want to feel supported and connected on the path, right? And oftentimes what really pains us is our loved ones, the people that's very close to us, sometimes our spouse, our childhood friends, the people that we spend the most time with, they just don't seem interested at all in any of this. So we want to maybe help them reduce their suffering. But they seemingly they don't have the conditions to get it. So yeah, there's a lot of things to sort out, right? How do we weave all these different teachings into a holistic system? But for today, the problem has been set. Pedagogical problem, the problem of decontextualized learning and teachings, instructors don't know the students don't really care to follow anybody. But I mean, you're going to spend 5 days here, so let's get to know each other, and maybe on these 5 days, let's try out this protocol and see what's up, right? At least we have that level of commitment. So if that's the case, and right now, easing ourselves further into the transmission, just by simply making contact with whatever is going on for you. That's it. Once we've done that to sufficient degree, seeing what's coming up, further making contact, starting to see like, oh, I ruminate. Oh, I have regrets. Oh, I'm getting bored. Oh, this feels pretty nice. Oh, I think I forgot to turn the stove off. Oh, this week's going to be pretty heavy. There's a lot of things coming up. Christmas, planning things out, buying gifts for the kids. Whatever comes up. So that we can start to build and take inventory of all the stock, of all the material that we're working with the entire week. So becoming aware of what's going on. Notice whatever comes up. And perhaps because we're talking about this problem of decontextualized teaching, if I were to prescribe and suggest a direction to feel and to be, is what is your goal for meditation? It's not to sit there and try to think about it, but just with that, like gently allowing the intention to reveal itself. Oh, I've always been doing this for happiness. Or I've always been doing this so that I have a stable mind. Right? That's the direction. Making contact with your goals, making contact with your intention, your aims for this practice. Let's do it. See for yourself how well you can follow the instructions. Be yourself and see what comes up. That's it. as we slowly eased into the transmission through our warm-up. Now it's also the gentle cool down, slowly welcoming back our context, our physical environment, the things that need to be done, the pressure of the day. With this way of training, what we're really optimizing for is a continuous, unbroken absorption. We call that meditative equipoise, reaching the point of equanimity where everything is sorted out, and then seeing how we can ease into meditative post-equipoise, allowing that stability now to permeate into our day. The day can be tough and it could be a lot that is demanded of us. But what are we going to do? Not live our life? A lot of times we have this not very skillful habit when we practice meditation is that we have life over here and then we cross our leg, we close our eye, and this is meditation over there. And then we open our eyes and immediately life kicks in again. So there is this chasm, this gap between the two. So that's why when it's a transmission-based teaching, transmission-based practice, that I'm fully committed to you, feeling with you, being with you. It's like the talking that we did in the warm-up is not just to talk, just to have a monologue. It is my attempt at making contact and being a friend with you. And of course, friendship takes time to develop. So may not be very skillful, may not be very effective, but the point is we're not running away from our life. We're not trying to hide in a meditative cave and withdraw from the world. That is through whatever's going on with our life, can we be with it? Even when it means that we have a lot of anger to feel, we have a lot of sadness to feel, we have a lot of frustrations to feel, we have a lot of confusion to feel. I'm confused, bro. What even is going on? That's okay. So now as we further cool down, allowing whatever comes up to be welcomed, having the generosity to allow yourself to just be yourself. Not rushing to becoming a better version right now and trying to tweak here, tweak there, trying to squeeze some sort of productivity thing out of this. Not immediately become jumpy and like checking notifications and race to the next context. The generosity to take a moment for yourself. And there are many things that we can discuss and go over. That's the point of the discussion. But sometimes it can be very simple of like, oh, a lot of us have never discussed what just happened in our meditation immediately after it happens. So we have no feedback system that is instantaneous. So that we can course correct. So tomorrow, day two, we can already adapt to troubleshoot whatever confusion that was, whatever curiosity we want to explore more, whatever point of clarification we want to resolve. Now is the time. So that's the point of discussion. That's the point of building this friendship, building this shared context through time together. So I'll know you better, you know me better through time. But yeah, not only that we meditate in a way of hiding in a cave, we also don't talk to other people about a cave when we're in the cave. It's like, oh, we'll meet and we'll talk about meditation, but yeah. Because that's to come back to my point about the problem right now is the access to quality materials far outpace the access to quality feedback, support. But okay, let's sort it out in discussion space, and yeah, there's quite a lot of things going on, right? Sometimes the instruction could be so simple, we have no idea how to do it. Just be yourself. What does that even mean? So I remove myself from spotlight, coming into the crowd, coming to audience with you guys, and let's sort this out. So transmission now is I'm no longer BUSU. I'm now Khan. I'm back over here, and we can talk like two normal human being. So the transmission mode is shifted. Okay. And please fill out the poll. Yeah, let's have some moments for the polls, and I'll end the poll and share the result. So we know what type of audience we're having here, and that's one way to get to know each other quick. Yeah, and perhaps you guys don't mind. I would like to quickly spotlight some of our instructors here. Uh, so we know the faces to the names. That's Frank, Hey, Albert. And this is our queen, Jace. And this is me. How was it for you guys as well?
So much love, Con.
So much love?
Yeah. Feel like you're trying to engulf us with your love.
Yeah, I guess so. I think I was we were having a meeting before to just prepare for Public Relations Week. I was sharing with the team that I think it's been a while since I am this happy. I think Cohort 7 was quite a success. I mean, we also have Cohort 7 people here, so they can speak for themselves. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but at least on the organization side, it was really a great experience to lead everybody, be with everybody through that.
Mm.
So yeah, I guess I am filled with love.
I was looking at your face and then just thinking about how the last time we did public demo, like you didn't have that much like eye bags yet.
They have much as much what?
Eye
I
bags.
Oh, eye bags. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta make some sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the poll. Let me share the result. So what goals do we have for our contemplative practice? To simply see reality as such is oh yeah, 80% of us chose that. That's the most common goal here. I mean, as we're saying, right? It makes sense. We have this samadhi, sila, prajna, and the prajna one simply see reality as such. I was saying that, yeah, I think this group is gearing towards that. And what problems do we face in our practice? The most popular one is I don't really know what kind of problems I have. Well, yeah, that's the point, right? We don't even know. Okay. Second most, quite close to each other, is I don't know how to work through strong emotions, and I don't know how to let go of sticky thoughts and narratives. Oh yeah, there we go. Day 2, day 3, day 4. That's about that. And I don't know which teacher to follow and which community to join. Yeah. Well, we can find out with this one, right? Let's see what these crazy people are up to.
Yeah. Usually in day one, we are not too crazy yet. What do you mean, Tom? Your problem is you answered question one incorrectly or dishonestly.
Yeah. Tom
What's
here
the
is
point of
also
seeing reality as such? How are you going to do that when you see reality as such?
Tom here is one of our well, that's one of the things I was thinking about. We say things like Tom is one of our senior mentors, but Tom was also this time last year, like you guys, like one of the participants. So it's not like we just hire him on LinkedIn, something like that. Like no, it's we hire zero people on anywhere. It's just people who, for whatever reason, uh, weird enough, queer enough, interested enough to join and train, and now just double down and like, hey, I want to help out, and if you want to help out, you can help out in this way. And Tom has been helping out since mid of 2025, and now is what 2 a.m. your time, 1 a.m.
Mid of 2024, come on, get it right.
Yeah. I was saying about like you have been a team member since the mid of 2025, but there was 1 year before that when you were a participant. So like that's like one of the things I want to reframe things like, yeah, John, like the most recent interview on Frank's channel is the same way. It's not like we hire him on LinkedIn and now he hang out with us. No, he's been training with us and like he wants to further like work with the team, and that's how it comes about. Jay's the same way. She joined just like you guys since the beginning of 2025. It's like sometimes we think like, oh, this just gonna get some people on LinkedIn and that's why they're here. No, they here for I guess different reasons.
Right. I don't even have a LinkedIn account.
And those who are interested in Tom's story, I just posted a link to his interview on the CC YouTube channel. Please check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only video that's age restricted on the channel, I believe.
There's some ass in
As,
there.
as usual, I'm always quite curious about the geographical spread of like people who's like who comes in here. Like if you could just type like where you are based or where you're from, like on the chat. And I think it's so amazing that we somehow could make CC work for the spread of time zones that we are in.
South
Wait,
Africa,
I
LA,
saw in Ireland there somewhere. Who's in Ireland?
is that Ireland?
Oh,
That's an
Russia.
I saw
Me.
maybe.
Oh my God, it's really a lot of places this time around.
Oh wow.
And Hong's in Ireland as well. Nice.
I'm already having like a big problem trying to like arrange meetings sometime using like ChatGPT. Like, please arrange a meeting time for like this, like six different
Yeah,
countries,
we have
and
to
then
measure like 6 time zones to try to make it
and
work.
then I have like a 45-minute time where everyone might not be asleep. Amazing. Oh, somebody in Thailand. Is this very near me?
Wow. Yeah. But okay, I'm asking Tom and the instructor first, like how's that conversation make sense with you guys, right? In terms of the challenge to learn in a new context. That's now things become digital, that comes with opportunities, but it also comes with a challenge, right? Because now it's like things are decontextualized. And when I mean things like, I think Frank is one of the representative more on the digital side of learning a lot of things from distant from any teacher. And Albert really is also can represent the other side, which is being with a teacher in their presence, living near to them for 10 years, and not just like happen to be there, but like make a conscious effort to be like that. Right. So it's also at first like Albert, for a very good reason, even skeptical of like, is this whole CC methodology, does that even work? Like, how does it even work? Because we have seen enough communities online crash and fall, crash and burn, rise and fall, and all that, right? Because of this problem of like the instructors don't know, nor, and this could be controversial, do they care to know you? Because they're not interested. They're interested in doing something else. And because of the scale, things are amplified so quick, right? It's like, bam, you were a communicator, and now you got 10,000 people following you, asking for your perspective on the greatest secret of the universe. How do I see the reality? You're not training that. You're not training handling 10,000 people. You just make YouTube videos. You're not trained in like curriculum design. You're not trained in institutional management. You're not trained in like course design and interaction environment design on that. Of course, things gonna go wham.
Are you talking about yourself right now, Khan?
Oh, I'm also happen to. That's why I go to school, right? Like I'm like, okay, this is the problem, and I have to go to school for it. But that's also the thing about CC is that we come together and we solve different problems together, right? Like today, about I set up the context, the pedagogical challenge, but tomorrow, like Albert is your feelings guys, your like poem, romance, wine and dine.
Yeah.
It's a different problem set. I don't solve that.
But what do you care about? The simple things that you care about that
Yeah.
we all care about. You said sleep or what else?
Who, me?
Yeah, you always said you're a simple guy and you care about like three
Oh,
things.
yeah, food, sex, and sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who here doesn't care about those three things? Cannot learn from Albert.
Food, sex, and sleep.
If you don't care about those things, you're dead. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're dead already. That's what we're gonna talk about tomorrow. Yo, to be a modern person is to be dead and to function. Dead and functioning. Oh, how lovely. I was thinking, Khan, how what you're talking about, like how irresponsible it is for teachers in the modern world who have 10,000 students or any number of students in which you're, I don't know, that's kind of the typical teaching modality that's presented in the West though, right?
Yeah.
Top down. It's not, there's no dialogue. Teacher doesn't have to really know you. You take the teachings, you apply them. It's very mechanical. It's very it's an exchange, right? Like in that sense, you just take the teachings, apply them as if they're techniques. There's no relationship. It's very reductive. And then people get fucked up.
That is if you have a technique, because a lot of the times we present the highest teachings. For example, some people hear about Dzogchen, or just sky gazing or whatever. Those are actually really advanced teachings. But the advanced teaching is actually paradoxically, just like everything else in spirituality, also happens to be the most simple teaching.
Mhm.
But then when we take the ultimate view or the ultimate practice and try to apply it to our relative split mind, what happens? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's quite the problem. I think like for myself, the teachings have always been presented like as an act of devotion and a kind of love affair between the teacher and the student. So this idea that you just take the teachings or you read the teachings in this like disconnected way, I don't know, that never really worked for me. You know what I mean? I didn't have enough neck in the game, or I didn't care enough, in that sense, if I approached the teachings that way. Like I actually there had to be something in there for me that was actual interest and care, you know what I mean? And an overall relationship with the teachings over time. Yeah, so that's kind of you're asking not sure what transmission is. So that's the thing about transmission. It's very much like a relationship. And
Yeah.
it takes time. It's not something you can force,
Yeah, it takes time, it takes intentionality, right? Two side has to be intentionally developing this.
Unless your relationship has been for lifetimes.
So Albert, you've been around various communities, right? And dedicated your life to spiritual practice. You say you realize the nature of mind at like 23, and then later on you were ATR, and then you found your Lama, and you've been around a lot of communities, a lot of practitioners. And number one, why are you still here? And how is this group different?
Why am I here?
No-
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
well, a lot of people probably hear that and be like, oh, if you realize the nature of mind 23, yeah, you're done, right? And for the next, like, I don't know, 20 years, almost 20 years,
yeah.
you became a baker and then you found a Lama and you realize there's a lot more to integrate, to deepen, to learn.
Mhm. Okay. In some
And
ways, you
then,
just answered my question. But Well, yeah, it's like expression. That's why I'm here. And ultimately completion,
It's
right?
an
It's
expression.
one thing it's to realize the nature of reality. It's another thing to actualize it in every dimensionality of your life, right? Through your living. And that's very unique to the circumstances I'm into. Like I'm very much into relationship. I'm very much into living the modern life, like fully, right?
Yeah.
How do I actualize it there? And then CC gives me the opportunity to do that
But you're
as
kind
the
of speaking
container.
for everyone, right?
Hmm?
Because, oh, well, I'm saying everything you're saying actually applies for everyone,
I mean,
which is
if
beautiful.
you
Yeah.
if you don't want to run away from life, I mean, there are other options. You could become a
You
monk.
can't run away from, that's the thing. I'm saying is that you can run away from life.
You could try.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, for a while, that's
I
what
like
I
the word
thought. I
expression.
thought that I had to go to the like live in the monastery or something.
Yeah.
What's the female version of a monastery? I don't even know what's that called.
A nunnery. Yeah, that's a thing.
Speaks of my commitment to it, right? I don't even know what is it called for women. But
Mhm.
now that's
Yeah,
actually what I thought I had to do.
yeah. That's interesting because first of all, I really like the word expression because Albert used to be an artist, and this is his art, and he taught art before this as well. And like for me at least, when I started with physical training, then became mind training, and then mind training became life itself. Now there's just absolutely no distinction between life and mind. Yeah, and what is life but relations, right?
Mhm.
Even if you choose to be a man cave,
Yeah, yeah. Even in
you're still
retreat,
relating.
isolated, you're always relating
Yeah,
to
you're still
nature, to the
relating.
world. Yeah, yeah. There's only
Yeah, yeah,
relationality
yeah.
after self-emptiness. I mean, literally prior to self-emptiness, I would say there's not much relationality
Yeah.
because
The
there's only
relationality
you.
is complete. Yeah, there's self-view based, right? Yeah, so
Yeah, before self-emptiness, it's just you, and everything is in the shape of you. It's just you. And once that concavity is expanded or canceled, then all there is, well, the field of relationality of your life. There's actually other people, you know? I don't know how people can avoid that. That's kind of a mystery to me in spirituality, how people can just be free without the relational aspect. This is kind of amazing. It's I think the fantasy of spirituality is that you just can like be free and have no responsibilities, no relationships, like you just, live your life. Or like, you know what I mean? Like there's this idea that freedom is like you
doing
won't
whatever
ever
you
get
want.
sad anymore, you won't get heartbroken,
Mhm.
like it's like I don't really know what people's ideas are about freedom, but yeah. Doing what you want. Is that what you said?
No, it's just that freedom. A lot of people think freedom is just doing whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah,
But
freedom
actually,
from or
to me,
freedom to, right?
yeah, yeah.
But that's not freedom.
Because you can never truly do whatever the fuck you want to do because you're always relating to people,
Yeah,
even if
you're
you're
playing.
antisocial or like fuck this guy, like yeah, I'm just
I mean,
doing
even
whatever
in
the
the
fuck.
monastery, there are other monks.
Yeah,
And rules
Mm-hmm.
and
And politics.
and and politics and
and math,
sponsors
and math. Don't forget
and
math.
math.
Yeah.
You guys know about like there's the Thai Theravadan monastery that have 18 monks in it, and like six of them was on meth, and they like have a bust the ring. BBC was on it last year. It's like it was just cooking meth and making guns. It's pretty interesting. The six of them tested positive. Like I don't maybe the other 12 like just watch and like I'm cool. You guys just do it. Or I don't know what the dynamic is, but yeah, six of them will test on positive. So there's all these interesting conundrum. Yeah, but there's a lot of interesting sharing in the chat. Anybody want to voice it out? How was the sit and how was your experience just now? I think Adrian said that Emil want to share as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
just please feel free to unmute yourself, share with the group, and
Yeah. Can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Okay,
spotlight you.
thank you. All right. So during the sit, there was a pretty constant expectation of how the sit should be, which I think is the main hindrance that I usually face while meditating. Because for a context, I used to have reached a pretty decent stage in the spiritual path, but I've been so inconsistent that at a certain point I let it go for basically a year. So it's basically like back to square one. So I was wondering, how should I approach it differently when I've reverted so back into the path when I know that I used to be much further down the road, and now it feels pretty disappointing to see the machinations of the mind once again and try to fight the same fights that I used to, even though it's not a fight. I should just let it go. But I was wondering what you thought of that.
So just so that we know and understand your situation better, like what would you say is the reason why like you so-called backslide? Is it like things get in the way, life get busy, or?
Yeah, basically just life got busy and I got pretty complacent. So I was like, yeah, I got these insights. I got, I'm pretty stable mentally, so I will just tune it back a little bit. But yeah, that was not a good choice. I should have just kept meditating. But yeah, now we're here. So yeah, it's just lack of practice, basically. I was very consistent, very, very consistent, and then I just dropped all of the sudden because I felt so much bliss that I was, yeah, I grew complacent, basically, of my own mind. Yeah.
I was just also wondering, what do you mean by insights, and what are the metrics you're using to compare now versus before when you were more advanced? Now you're sliding.
Yeah. So basically, in general, every metric you could think of, like in ability to concentrate, ability to reach a blissful state, of single pointed awareness, of open awareness, and it was just easier for me to let go of things immediately. I remember because I'm from Italy, and I went to meditate in the Santa Citarama monastery, and I remember the exact moment where I unlocked this new consciousness, basically much easier to live in. Like everything was easier. I felt just good. Meditating was basically pain-free. All of the sudden, I didn't feel any pain in my body. Everything was so easy to capture, to see. And now it's back to that, but it was so gradual, and I just didn't notice how quickly it faded away since I stopped meditating. So now those things are not there anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Now, since you used the word insight in the beginning, but when I ask you to describe insight, yeah, those are, I guess from my perspective, those are more like states that
Yeah.
could come and go, something that you could cultivate, something you can call on, something that can come and go. So my question is directed back at you. What kind of insight did you have? And did that insight go away?
No self,
No
first
self.
of all. It was pretty clear, pretty evident, and just, yeah, made life much easier, the insight of no self. And yeah, I didn't really tap very much into suffering or impermanence. Yeah, also a bit of impermanence, quite a bit of insights on impermanence, but no self, I think, was the main one. Absolutely.
Interesting.
I think in this context, so traditionally speaking, okay, so I think to cut to the chase, in
Yeah.
short, is like it's the dipping in merit. So
Mhm.
it means like you don't have a lifestyle that can maintain that level of realization. So it's to cut to the chase
Yeah.
of it. And that's why, like, for example, in traditionally speaking, they say there's two cultivation that like generate these two side of the path for us to one side is the cultivation of wisdom, and one side is the cultivation of merit. So the cultivation of wisdom is like what you were saying, that when you sit down, you can see inside, and you can start to it reach a critical point where a breakthrough, and then you see. But
Yeah.
the merit side, if it can't hold up, then suddenly you got busy, and suddenly you got distracted, or suddenly things get in the way. Like the cultivation of merit is then to continuously build boundaries. So that's why the sila matters. Like that's why like we
Mhm.
got samadhi training and sila training so that it can work with prajna. Because if we don't got the silas, we don't have the boundaries, the lifestyle that can hold the capacity to be awakened, we won't be awakened. We'll just be bombarded with all the things and blah, blah, blah. And it's a continuous cultivation. And how do we do merit management, really?
Yeah.
Okay, sila in this context is also like we don't mean to. It's not in the context of you can't eat meat
Yeah.
or you can't have sex. Like it's contextual, but
Yeah,
still
it's
there
like
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
The silas of like not eating meat, not having sex, not drinking, that is them cultivating their lifestyle so that it's
Yeah.
optimal for their cultivation, right? But then you
Mhm.
can decide what do you want to cultivate and what will be aligned with that. Like I'm sure we have all the goals in our life and like, okay, so based on that goal, what you should be doing with your life, and are you doing that? Most likely, no, I'm not doing that. Right? Because we fail short of our expectation of ourselves all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think in terms of the competency, how do we measure progress? I would say that in CC we're developing a framework that we have four aspects of it. One, the first one will be stability. So it's like how consistent can you perform these meditative absorption? So it's like, okay, we can sit down and time again, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But most likely when we sit down, it's always in favorable condition. So meaning like the room is quiet, no one is bothering you. So now you can sit down and it's like things get processed very fast. Right. But the other side of this is stability must also come with, oh, sorry, it's reliability at first. Reliability is how consistent, how reliable is our practice. But then how stable it is like how resilient can you be when the condition is not favorable? When it's noisy, when today you feel tired, we just have something with our stomach and now it doesn't feel right to sit. All these things, yet you can still perform. So
That's
then,
the fitness part of it.
yeah, that's the fitness part. So that's why we're saying like
Rep
there's a
after rep
fitness.
after rep.
Yeah, to put in the reps. And there's also the depth of it. Like you were saying, like you can go deeper and deeper and deeper to the point that you're starting to see like also the insight into impermanent, dukkha, uh, anatta, all those things. But then we also have the competence of transference. But then can it translate into the way we make decision about life?
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can have an experience and even insights, but then not have a realization because you're not actualizing that insight because you don't have enough fitness or merit or enough energy. Because this practice is actually quite expensive. Me and Kong was just talking about it yesterday.
Yeah, this is
Expensive in terms of like you really got to dedicate yourself to it. And it's not like we're asking you to spend like 6 hours a day sitting by yourself. We're asking you to, for an hour a day, yoke into the transmission, right, like in silence, and then we have a discussion, which you start to weave your the silent portion of your sit into life already through the discussion, like what we do right now, how you relate, and the rest of the day, you continue the practice.
Okay.
So
And
it's a invisible monastery, as we call it. Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
quick just a maybe kind of link to just life in general. It's well, typically, the set of the sort of forgetfulness that you said, like how things just get caught up and then you just go back to things. But if you think even about like mindfulness, right? Just in Pali, it's called sati, just means remembering. And in actual fact, we experience it moment to moment. Like even when we're practicing. So, for example, some of us use the technique of breathing, right? of observing the breath, you realize that you keep forgetting, and then you just have to come back. So in a matter, you're coming back, and it's just happening in practice, happening in life. It's the same way, and the sort of I guess whatever Khan and Frank has mentioned, the kind of habits that we have, right? Because that's like I said, we have a dominant hand. Example I use frequently, right-handed. So the kind of habit, the world has been conditioned to cater to right-handers. And now you decided that you realize you could use the left hand. But the thing is, you go back into the world, everything's using the right hand again. So it's actually easy to forget too. So in that way, again, just supporting what Khan and Frank are saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So basically, I just have to be consistent every day, no matter what, basically, yeah.
Use both your right hand and left hand. Yeah.
But it's
Absolutely.
also like it's the consistent every day, no matter what. It's also to account for days where you can't be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it's to plan for failure as well, right? It's like how much failure can we tolerate?
sure.
It's actually
Yeah,
to plan for the days
it-
where you don't have motivation, to plan for the days where you don't feel like it. And then we can't expect that we can perform just as consistent as the day where we feel fired up. That would not be like just effective planning, right?
it's like to be consistent even when you're not consistent.
all right.
So
To accept that
Yeah.
you cannot always be consistent, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Well,
that's one of the
that's the
things.
first step.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
see in
but
CC as
then
well.
you
It's
have
like
to your
is
practice.
are you actually backsliding or just more like circling around until we recognize, oh, the path has highs and lows, and I can't accept the highs. I mean, I can't accept the lows, then the highs fade away. So then how does that inform our practice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of times we have this idea of what progress looks like, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to accept all of life, you cannot accept the lows, then you're not coming as you are. You're not becoming all of life, right? And then sometimes when we, especially I've been on this path for a while, that this path it's just going, it's just a cyclical cycle. Cyclical, it's like a spiral,
Spiral.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you run, yeah, it's a spiral. You know, you can run into the same condition, but if you have enough mirror and insight, and if you have enough fitness, the next time you know encounter the same patterns, it's on a deeper level. Just like when I did Vipassana, sometimes I would scan my body and my whole body would be dissolving. But then the next sit, you know, I feel very contracted again. But then I realized if my practice was right, if you know my intention was right, I'm actually going deeper into the next layer, quote unquote, next layer of my conditioning, so you know, uncovering more stuff.
All right.
So
even though it
you can
looks
start to
like
really see the patterns of like not just your practice, but of like mind itself, of nature. You know, nature is, you know, cyclical, right? By default.
Jay, you're on
Contraction,
mute.
expansion,
No,
you know,
just
yin
start
yang.
trying to say that there's a hand that's been raised for a while.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Let's
Anil.
go to the problem. Yeah.
All right, let's
Thank
get to the
you.
next
Yeah.
one. Gracia.
Is it Spa? Like, is your name Spa?
Yes. Hello.
It's a nice name.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and
Yeah.
clear.
Not very clear?
It's
I
clear.
think
It's
yeah,
clear.
we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, this was my first time joining you all, and I guess I wasn't fully clear. I mean, I was listening during the first part. I noticed some people in their videos were meditating. So my expectation was that, oh, there'll be a talking part and a meditating part. And so or sitting meditating part. And I know that when I asked, I think Khan said to savor yourself. So I did whatever that meant for me. And yeah, I don't know if I don't know what, I don't know if I have a goal or if I guess I just don't know. And I don't know if I need to have a purpose to get somewhere. but I kind of wanted to just check this out. And I guess, should I have a goal? Should I have a purpose in this in order to get somewhere? That's what I'm unclear of.
I see. Well, what else the other instructors and Tom or other mentors here? What do you guys think? Thank you for your questions, Bob.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Everyone has a goal. It's just suffer less, right? What's the point of all this shit if you guys don't suffer? And if you don't think you're suffering, then, well.
You're done.
I promise you, you're suffering. Well, we can work that out.
Yes. You need to talk to my husband, Albert. He doesn't think he's suffering.
Really?
Even after your 7-hour conversation.
Yeah. Even after my 7-hour conversation. It's enjoyable.
Maybe
Really?
he's saying that just to spite you because, bitch, you make this 7 hours. I'm gonna hold on to my ground. Fuck you. Not suffering. Not suffering at all. I'm not suffering.
What do you
Yeah.
think about what do you think about that, Spart? Are you suffering?
I don't know if I am, and I don't know if I'm like blocking it, or I don't know if I'm accepting it. I guess I'm in a state of, I'm not sure, but I guess a part of me feels like, I guess maybe I should make a goal. Maybe because I just don't have any goals.
Why are you here?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same.
I guess part of why I'm here is I do want to improve in a way, I guess. I don't know how, I guess I don't know how, but I did go to a Vipassana retreat a while back, like many years ago. It was a 10-day retreat. And I don't know if I've had the experience of no self. Uh, so I guess I'm just curious. Maybe curiosity brought me here. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I can get something out of it. But then there's, I guess, there's, I don't know what I'm looking for. Maybe I should just experience it and see how it goes and reflect on the last day. But yeah, I guess my question was, is there a certain goal I should have, or should I just experience it as it comes?
Well, one
You know,
like
that's
I
interesting.
think I'm the youngest in CC.
Yeah.
But a lot of people here, a lot of people in CC, I think they have lived a life full of ups and downs, full of ambition and dream. They have gone through many cycles of accomplishment. Like you can see it very well documented in Frank's case, right? Like going from powerlifting, bodybuilding,
Yeah, that's
art, all those
that's how I
things.
came here with Frank.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
it's like it's like have we exhausted our goal so that we go beyond relative goal to something that is more so-called self-transcendental, transcendental. Right. And every
I think that's
time,
going too far, Con. I think I think that's a little bit too much.
yeah, what I mean
I
by
think
this is that
Spart
what I mean by this is like maybe you haven't even lived enough life for this to be
Yeah.
relevant.
True. Yeah,
Like that's what
it's
I
kind of
mean.
like yeah, it's like
It's
a lot of people come to spirituality, they just want to look for no self insight or like, you know, dissolve the self when they don't even have a healthy self to begin with.
yeah.
You know.
So that could be
And I
like a
mean,
very brutal truth, right? Like you don't need spirituality, you need to live your life.
curiosity can be a goal for now. Well, for
Yeah, I think it's
most part of
fine.
my
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
curiosity guides it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you ask that question, my first answer was, can you have a goal and not have a goal at the same time? Because that's kind of like how I approached everything, even when I was doing bodybuilding and powerlifting. It's like I was really interested in doing these things for their own sake. Sure, they're like goals, but they're more like byproducts. Oh, I really just want to get strong. I enjoy the feeling of
Oh, but
exertion,
Frank definitely
power.
suffered.
Oh, dude, I
You
suffer so
definitely did
much.
suffer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But the thing is though, I did suffer a lot, but reducing suffering was really never my primary goal. I never had a primary goal other than just to experience itself and just to push the boundaries and really tap into the edges of existence. And even that is not something that I articulated before. I just wanted to express in a sense.
Yeah.
You don't have to search for what you can't see for now. But what is presented to you right now, if it's a curiosity, it's your curiosity. It's like,
I think it's fine. Yeah, because I actually think
yeah.
that can be an advantage because a lot of people come here with too many like ideas about spirituality, too
Right.
solidify goals a little bit too much, and that could get in the way. But like having no ambition or motivation can also get in the way. So it's all about finding the middle way ultimately.
Hmm.
Why is it echoing?
I think it's on Tom's side.
Oh, yeah. That's why I said, can you have a goal and not have a goal at the same time? Like, but include both while transcending them. But that's a little bit of on the view refinement side of the program. But
Yeah. I
like
mean,
you say, you just
if
want
we
to improve,
generally
right?
like, it's actually if
Improve,
we are just
cultivate your
curious
mind.
and open-ended goal of I want to find out about this, that could be a goal. It doesn't have to be like, oh, by this time I want to have this and this and this. The level of specificity
Yeah.
of our goal can vary by a lot, right? And we can be, all right, a well-calibrated mind. At this moment, I don't know enough, so let me gather some data. And then we just like, okay, ask question about what you guys think about this? What you guys think about that? And then trying to scope it out and from that curiosity, figure out and make a decision. That's super valid. And I think a lot of people join CC with that curiosity of which seems resonating enough. And let me see what's gonna happen in that way.
I mean, even curiosity in yourself, right? Because there's a million things to be curious about in this world, but you're curious about this one. Like,
Yeah. Hopefully that helps helpful
Yeah.
spot. And yeah, we can also talk more through the upcoming days and with more instructors sharing their perspectives, we can see how it aligns with your understanding and what you want. Yeah. I think we have enough time for one more. Thomas or Thomas? Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Hey, yeah, it's Thomas. Yes, I wanted to share about my experience of the sit. The very common pattern for me during the past 2 years is that contractions arise so strongly that there is no equanimity or capacity to be with those sensations. So there was a little bit of absorption in the beginning, then tension started to arise, contractions, anger, and underneath the anger, emotional pain. And needing to go into like a technique to have a little bit of compassionate attention to just be with those sensations, kind of working with like they arise like parts of me that really demand attention. And I usually need to do another practice to have that energy in whatever way to be with sensations. And that's like the biggest hindrance in me to actually find a way that consistently brings that energy up, that capacity to be with sensations. Yeah.
See. So how did you feel about today's instruction is just make contact with whatever's going on for you?
Yeah, so I felt it was really best to do that without even creating like vipassana labels,
Yeah.
like thoughts, just recognizing the sensation, being with that. And then maybe after 5-10 minutes, the contraction started becoming so strong that the mind automatically wanted to create labels, do a technique or something to handle or create the equanimity to be able to actually be with that experience.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you can't be with the experience, you can't recognize it, right?
Yeah.
You-
Yes.
you can't-
Exactly.
That's the fitness part.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So you see it like there is that intention of like, okay, I want to be with whatever, but it's only can be 10 minutes before something collapse. And then we lost in thoughts, we get drowned by strong emotion, the contraction is too much. So then it's very clear on day 2, day 3, we'll be talking about how to reassociate, how to gather those strong emotion in a way that we can be with them little by little by little.
Yeah. So we're kind of basically condensing like each of the 5 days could actually be, it's like maybe a phase in the bootcamp, but it's a fractal. So each of the 5 days could actually just be entire year of your practice or entire retreat actually, or maybe it could be just the practice for the rest of your life. That's how spirituality works. It's fractals. Yeah, yeah. I like what you said about not labeling your practice as like vipassana or do nothing meditation or self-inquiry or whatever techniques are out there. Because in CC, we emphasize on maneuvers rather than techniques. Because at the deepest region of your mind, you can't really distinguish between different techniques. That's just a label you slap on, like on a more superficial level. But the mind knows maneuvers, and each maneuver would lead to different routings. So we spend a lot of time dissecting your sits, like what are the maneuvers that you used if you have this or that state, what was the maneuver that you used, and the intricacy of these maneuvers, the subtlety in which you can recognize, and the fitness to rest is really the core of the practice.
Mm.
Even maneuver to relate. How do you maneuver when you talk to your girlfriend? How do you maneuver just living life at work, not just in meditation practice? Because we're solving an obstacle course. If you solve the obstacle course in a meditation set, you can also solve the obstacle course in life, in relationships.
Yeah, and it's like we're running out of time for today. We're gonna come back later tomorrow. But is your name Thomas? Am I pronouncing correct?
Thomas, yeah, or Thomas, you can pronounce it how you like.
I mean, like I haven't got the time. We haven't got the time to know each other. But from the little that I'm reading right now, it seems like you're very hard on yourself, man. So maybe the contraction is like your own doing.
Mm.
So yeah. I mean, then the techniques and the instruction is to be contextual to our personal situation, right? If right now you're very hard on yourself to the point that you have crushing pressure in that way,
You just be with that.
yeah, and like intentionally trying to experiment with letting loose and enjoying ourselves a little bit, even if even if it could feel like something we've never done before. So it's very awkward. We don't know how to do it. There's a lot of people in CC that when they started, they was very, very hard on themselves. So John was one of the case. I think he also mentioned that when he asked to generate self-compassion, he can't do it. Like it's like I can't feel warm in my heart. So it could be that simple. Just like, okay, so we solved the first problem right now, which is the crushing amount of pressure. Once we solve that, that's why like Frank was saying maneuver. It's more of a maneuver for the specific obstacle. Once that's done, then we'll talk about the next step and the next step and the next step in that way. Most people have the problem just like one technique to solve everything. And usually that
Or like they
doesn't
want to
end
try
very
like
well.
1,000 techniques.
Yeah, or like 1,000 techniques without
Yeah. Really
actually
understand why, the
choosing
context.
like the one that is appropriate right now.
Yeah. It's actually extremely simple. Like come as you are, be yourself. But there's like maneuvers to do that, right?
But ultimately, I also like to tell people that you're just training your fitness to be fit enough for yourself.
Yeah.
Are you ready for yourself? I think most of us aren't even ready for ourselves.
That's the
Yeah, I mean,
hardest
like,
part about this is like, how do you truly be yourself? When you truly be yourself, then yeah, sure, we talk about no self, whatever, right? Like recognizing no self is inseparable from just completely being yourself and being reality or just life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there could be a million reasons why we are hard on ourselves, right? We could be disappointed by our parents, by our siblings, by our friends. We could have been like for even unknown reason, we just always doesn't know better. We just never get the kind of support. I know that was my case of not really have the recognition of others. So there's always this need to prove myself and for others to recognize. So when it comes to CC, I'm like, oh, generally these people just enjoy my presence. I don't need to prove anything or explain anything to these people. And that's take a huge weight off our shoulders. But usually that's not the case, right? We walk around having to prove ourselves to everybody. Have to be a certain way, act a certain way. And then we're not supported. So then in that case, maybe you are just extremely malnourished of love.
Mm.
And that's kind of fucked up, but that's a life that a lot of us have, right? We just don't have love for whatever reason. But I'm gonna shower you with some more love tomorrow with Albert. We're gonna wine and dine you. Having romance going on, and yeah, just talk about feeling our feelings, exactly feeling our feelings, and having the kind of container that somebody hold you to be with you and like nurture that the most insecure, the most childish, the most hurt version of ourselves, and allow that version to finally have the nourishment to grow. So that's tomorrow. Okay, but thank you guys so much for joining us. Tomorrow we talk about that and share more of our experience. Today, just really the preview and the introduction. Thank you, and have a great time. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye bye.